Good evening. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Wednesday, the 16th of March, 2022. I'm late, but today's just one of these crazy days. So we had the Fed day, and the event is over. Now, the first thing I'd ask me is, what does Ira mean by that? And here's what I mean. Since 2018, we haven't had a rate increase. We got one. We had a Fed chair come out and say that basically each meeting is live going forward for another increase. The dot plot says we're probably going well into 2023 with a number of increases quarter after quarter points, or the Fed may even opt to increase to a half point at any point there. The balance sheet is going to be drawn down. They haven't decided when they'll do it. They may tell us at the next meeting, and they claim that's another very popular and powerful way to grab control of an inflationary economy. The Fed said that the economy is strong enough and employment is strong enough to withstand these series of interest rate hikes. I, for one, don't believe the dot plot will be met. I think there won't be as many rate hikes as they think. I think it will be a combination of inflation on its own retreating. You do understand, crude oil on March 8th was about $40 higher than it is today, 8 days ago, a barrel. So it has fallen. If it was $140 then and it's under $100 now, what percentage point is that to you? You know, it's a monster percentage. Wheat, food, down sharply. Now that we're hearing talks between Russia and the Ukraine on 15 different points where maybe they can get to a peace settlement, you know, in the meantime, what Russia is going to do is kill people, level cities, destroy everything in their way because they don't have the armed forces to do it. They have realized that they can't go into the cities and win that battle, something before it ever began. I told you. I said, if you look back at what happened in Iraq, if you go back to Afghanistan, if you go to all these places, once you get into urban fighting, our skilled troops, ours, other countries, it won't matter. They're at the mercy of people that know the cities, know the in and outs, and when you're trying to take over something, nationalism on their part, where women, young kids, adults are all taking up weapons to shoot at you, you have no chance. So what Russia's doing is they realize that, and they're leveling everything. They'll make excuses, that if you saw today's theater bombing in Mariupol, I don't know if you saw what went on there. That, by the way, the building that they did, which was a theater, in the parking lot on either side of it, in Russian was written the words children, because it is a bomb shelter underneath it. So how did the Russians handle that so that they don't hurt anything? Well, the simple way is you level it. Bomb shelter opening, the theater itself, the hell with it. They're all full of spies anyways. That's what they did. I want to give President Biden an applause. I've been on him because I don't agree with his energy policy, but he called Putin today, and remember, this is the most powerful president in the world, a war criminal. That's going to have massive ramifications. What Putin's doing won't be forgotten even with a treaty. This does not mean that a bold world, not the United States, a bold world won't hold this man's foot. Let him leave Russia, arrest him, put him on trial, just the way we did with the Nazis. Put him on trial as crimes against humanity. He's a war criminal. Mr. Putin, stay at home. Okay. Lockheed Martin, why the heck's it dropping in the middle of all this? Well, the U.S., by the way, Germany said they want 35 of the planes. Big order, not a small order. I hope you understand that for what each one of those costs. But the U.S. has decided to cut back for our military defense spending the amount they want. That caught the market by surprise. So the market had an embedded reading. Number one, you've been over the Bollinger Band. I teach you not to buy over a Bollinger Band. I teach you that that's borrowed time. You're going to get burned. And you lost the embedded reading, not there, but here's Wednesday. I want to just come into this. Boom. That's a weekly chart. I just want you to see what's going on. Let's go to the dailies. Take a look at what's happening there. Boom-o. All of a sudden, you're in a downtrend. Coming into today, You had higher highs, lower lows. You can't get away from that pattern, okay? And with today's action, you're bearish all of a sudden. Now until you get back over 450.42, you open up everything on the downside, including the potential for the Bollinger Band, which comes in at 379.86. Until you get back over that number, I contend you're probably going to get selling into the 18-day average. Pros will keep stops, I think, over the most recent high. In terms of momentum, it's down. So we have the trend down as measured by the swing line with lower highs, lower lows, the bias down, and momentum down. In Apple, getting the bounces I expected out of the combination of the Bollinger Band and the 200-day average. Now, part of the word is that Foxconn has come out now and said that Apple production will not be impacted. That gave it a lift, but it's still got a lot of resistance at 161.21. You'd have to get back over 163.41 to scare the shorts out of their positions. That's my belief on the chart pattern. Bullishness hit the financial sector. For whatever reason, they decided that they like what's going on. I don't get it. Let me explain what I don't get. The curve yield acts like it wants to invert. How does a bank make money with an inverted curve yield? I don't see that. You are taking money from depositors with this hand, and you're going to be paying up for it, but the inversion means the longer-term money rate is not as high. You're hurting the spread of the money. So we'll see. I looked for the resistance. It's a 200-day average yesterday if it rallied. I looked first for the 18-day. Correcting this, you're in an uptrend on the swing line. Normally the resistance is the 18-day. It exceeded that today, but I'll give the market the benefit of the Fed day today. Now, if it goes more than that, then I got to rethink the position. Disney, one of the things I've said is as long as fuel prices dropped, and this is what I said in my morning subscriber videos, you're probably going to get a rally in hotel stocks, airplanes, jets, the common SPDR ETF. Bingo. And that's what's going on in this market. Plus, you lost, by the way, I want to get back to that if I could for 1 second here. You had an embedded reading. You lost it. You're probably going to the 18-day average of closes before you get back under that low. That's my guess as a chartist. In XLI, the industrial spider, I told my traders I like this from the long side, that I think that it can get up to the Bollinger Band, but now you're overbought. I wouldn't be chasing it tomorrow. In the semiconductor, the downtrend ended, and we were here talking about it when you hit the Bollinger Band again. Go to the videos. They're out there on YouTube. I said, you know, I think the pros came out of the market there. That's what I teach in my courses, and that's what I expect to occur. And all of a sudden today, I look pretty good with that. That's not necessarily a buy signal. It's a reason not to be short. The home builders, I am blown away that they went up this way today. Impressed. Raising interest rates, mortgages are going to go up again. Everything's inflationary cost-wise, yet the market's not in a downtrend. This is the first move over the 18-day average. It challenged it yesterday. Is it in an uptrend? It is not. It has a lower and low, higher high. I think more or less it's going to be caught in the upper and lower Bollinger Band as a trader. Then we get to the energy sector, and this chart is still very bearish. It's come dramatically lower. The resistance is here. The potential is there for the 65.30 level. You'd have to get back over this high under the current pattern. Now, the pattern will change potentially over the next couple of days, but under this pattern, you have to get over that high to negate the downtrend. This is where the pros are probably selling against the 18-day average. Gold market couldn't quite make it as low as I would have loved to have seen. So, now, just take a look. The high on this day, this was Tuesday, was 180.27. You didn't take it out. If you can get through today's highs tomorrow, this will make a trade bottom against this low, and then I'm looking for resistance at the 18-day average. Is there a bargaining going short here? I don't think so, because the logical sell spot's 181.51, but the objective would be back down to today's lows and to put a stop all the way up there. The risk-reward's backwards as a chartist. GDX, if gold's no good, GDX, well, this is no good. And what have they all done? They've come back to the 18-day average. What do I teach you after big rallies, especially if you're over Bollinger Bands? If the market starts a correction down, often, It goes back to the 18-day average. If the trend is lost, which this market turned into lower highs, lower lows, to regroup at that price. That's what's going on there. Copper. I am still a big bull on copper. Why? Because at the end of the day, the Ukraine-Russian war is going to end. At the end of that, COVID is what we're looking at, and even the big outbreak in Asia will come to an end. People will go back to the factories. We'll start producing goods again. They're going to cost more, I get it, but they're all going to require copper. So maybe you don't need as much copper as you did a year ago for the amount of goods you got to produce, but you're going to need to produce a lot of goods. You can't get new cars. You can't get batteries and chips for those cars. I mean, there's nothing but problems. Don't believe me? Why the heck is Panasonic? I can go on and on with all the companies that are building battery factories now. Germany's going to see new ones. The U.S. is seeing new ones because you got to start thinking we're going to get rid of the combustion engine. That'll be done. Today's 2022. By 2030, you watch. Typical car will be an electric car that you're buying out there, not gasoline engine cars by that point. It's only a decade away. 8 years, close to a decade. But that's my prediction. TLT, I don't want to be short going into the Fed meeting. I told that to everybody on BND, everything else. Now, UUP, which is the dollar. Well, the trend has turned down. The bias is still up. You're over the 18-day average, but the trend is certainly to the downside. So what we have here is a dollar that the market has decided, with all these interest rate hikes, the odds favor we're going to go into a recession. Do you really want to be long the dollar? Other currencies can probably do better by raising their rates. They won't do it as often as we do. I think that's the thinking that is starting to permeate through the marketplace. Last, in the euro, it's the same thinking. Higher lows, higher highs. They're against raising rates. So it's starting to get a bid. Resistance 102.90 is going to be my guess there. Now, I want to remind you that at 9 in the morning or thereabouts, I start recording a video for you. In that video, I'm giving specific buy and sell recommendations on 40 different charts that we rotate all the time. Each weekday, you'll see me bring on things. These are some of the markets I cover, but there's 40, and I rotate the stocks and everything else that we do, and I try to keep up with the current action of the times. I think that makes sense. Each Saturday, I'm going to give you weekly charts for your biggest ideas, and then bonus videos from time to time so that we'll focus in on a stock or a company or an ETF or whatever I decide to do and give you ideas. I think I'm a seasoned pro. I've done this 53 years. I have owned both stock firms and commodity firms. So I'm not a guy coming, oh, he's just a chartist. That's nonsense. I've run these companies. I know what they are, dealt with the regulators, so on and so forth. So it gives me a fairly unique view on everything. How do you find out more? Just go to our website. Under the word research, everything you need is right there. I'm Ira. You have a good day. I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon. Take care.